where you can be anything. Be kind. You know it's the right thing to do. Be kind. Say something nice.
Good morning, boys and girls. I trust you're all continuing to keep well. First, allow me to apologise for being unable to provide an assembly last week. I hope you didn't miss us too much. I wonder, do any of you keep a diary? You know, I couldn't live without my diary. I have to write down when important deadlines are to be met, when I have to meet with staff or my board of governors. In fact, when I look at my diary now, I know that I have a very important meeting later today where I'll be discussing the progress in relation to the building work due to start at school soon. And at 7 o'clock tonight, we'll be hosting our Primary 7 graduation event. Again, I had to put that date in the diary or I might forget. You know, some of us use diaries to write about events that occurred during the day. People will jot down their memories of meeting a friend, a special occasion, a significant event, meeting their future wife or husband for the first time, or recording a good or maybe bad day at the office. A number of weeks ago we celebrated VE Day, Victory in Europe Day, the day when World War II ended in Europe. It would be wrong to think that all Germans were Nazis, and many did not share the same beliefs as their dictator leader Hitler. But Hitler believed that German Jews weren't truly German because they weren't part of their idea of what German people should be like. When we have a group of people who are being treated badly and we say mean things about them because of their race, religion or difference, this is called being prejudiced. This is what Hitler and the Nazi Party did to the Jews. They treated them badly and made their lives unbearable because they were different. It must have been horrible, unfair, not nice, and indeed criminal. And it is so important that all people should be treated equally. On the 12th of June 1929, Anne Frank was born, so today would have been her 91st birthday if she were still alive. Many of us know the story of Anne Frank, and some of us may have read her very famous diary or watched a film based on the story of Anne Frank and her family. Anne was born in Frankfurt, Germany, and she lived most of her life in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, having moved there with her family at the age of 4.5 when the Nazis gained control over Germany. The Frank family were Jewish, and they became trapped in Amsterdam by the German occupation of the Netherlands. The Germans persecuted the Jewish population, and as a result the Franks went into hiding in some concealed rooms behind a bookcase in the building where Anne's father worked. They remained hidden there for just over 2 years until they were arrested in August 1944. Anne received a diary as a birthday present, and she wrote in it regularly. She recorded her time in hiding. Anne would not have been allowed to leave their hiding place even at night, just in case they were discovered and gave their hiding place away. Being trapped in that small place meant that life wasn't normal for Anne anymore. In one of her entries she wrote, "I long to ride a bike, dance, whistle, look at the world, feel young, and know that I'm free." Diaries are often private books and only to be read by the writer. Indeed, Anne wrote several times that she would never allow anyone to read her diary. She often wrote about her family, described her life and their situation. Unfortunately, the Frank family were discovered by the Nazis and were taken to a concentration camp called Auschwitz. These concentration camps were horrible places, and they were filled with fit and healthy people who were forced to work in dirty and dangerous jobs. In these camps, huge numbers of people were being deliberately and systematically killed by the Nazis. Many people died from illness. The camps were dirty, there wasn't much food, and people became ill. With no doctors or medicine, there was little hope of getting well. Unfortunately, Anne Frank died in this concentration camp. Some historians believe she died only a couple of weeks before the British soldiers liberated the camp on the 15th of April 1945. Anne was only 15 when she died. However, many people still talk about this young girl and her legacy. In fact, I visited the Anne Frank Museum a number of years ago when visiting Amsterdam. Her diary has been translated into 70 languages and has been read by millions of people. By reading her words, people can learn and understand what life was like for Jewish people under Nazi rule. Anne dreamed of becoming a famous writer, and now she is one, even though she died without ever knowing it. Her words have empowered young people and given them the strength to stand up to all types of prejudice, racism and discrimination. Anne Frank is an inspiration to us all. And I would encourage you to read the Diary of Anne Frank or watch a film about the story of Anne Frank and the Frank family. I wonder, how can you use your words for good in the world today? It is important to be kind to everyone. Stand up for people if they're being picked on. It's important always to tell the truth. Maybe Anne Frank has inspired you to write a diary. Why not talk about Anne Frank and share her story with some of your family? We can all do our bit and say the right words to make our world a better place.
Howdy, students. This is a song about how everyone is special. Let's talk about acceptance. Everyone is different, and that's okay. We come in many colors, sizes, and shapes. And just because you are not exactly like me is never a reason for you to be mean. What should we do? We show acceptance. Everywhere we show acceptance. Because we care, we show acceptance. Near and far, accepting others just the way that they are. That's right. You see, sometimes our patience, it can be fading. Our friends can get on our nerves and even be irritating. But we can be accepting, don't you know? Even towards the people who bother us most. What are we gonna do? We show acceptance. Everywhere we show acceptance. Because we care, we show acceptance. Near and far, accepting others just the way that they are. Right on. You see, I could be a boy, or you could be a girl. We could be neighbors, or live in different worlds. But each one of us is special. We're shining stars. We accept everyone just the way that they are. What should we do? We show acceptance. Everywhere we show acceptance. Because we care, we show acceptance. Near and far, accepting others just the way that they are. We show acceptance. Everywhere we show acceptance. Because we care, we show acceptance. Near and far, accepting others just the way that they are. That's right. Accept somebody with open arms today.
Hey boys and girls, it is nice to be with you again. I'm Phil, and I am the youth worker at Dungannon Presbyterian Church. And last time I was with you, I talked about Daniel, and I want to do the same again, but I'm going to give you a choice first, okay? You have to choose. Would you rather eat a pepper? Ooh, I like peppers. Do you like peppers? Would you rather eat a pepper or chocolate fingers? Ooh, I would even give you the whole box. A pepper or a box of chocolate fingers. If I were pushed, I think I would have to go for the chocolate fingers. I think I would. But you know what? Daniel in the Bible, he was captured by this king, okay? And him and his friends were handsome and smart and strong, and that's what the king wanted. And the king wanted to change these guys. And so he took away their identity, he took away their names and gave them new names. And they didn't have a choice. He took them from where they lived and made them live where the king lived. He took them away from their families. He did lots of stuff. But there was one particular trick that he did that to try and make them like him, I think. And it was that he gave them the best of the best food and the best of the best stuff to drink. And here's the thing. Daniel and his friends knew that their identity, who they were, wasn't wrapped up in those things, okay? It wasn't all about where they were from. It wasn't all about how they looked and how handsome they were. It wasn't all about how strong they were. But the main thing that they knew was that they trusted God. They trusted God. And so no matter what this king did, they were going to be able to stand up to it and stand against it. So they said, no thank you, we don't want your food. We will have vegetables and water. So Daniel and his friends ate vegetables and drank water, while the other guys who were supposed to be on this fancy diet that was going to make them really strong were on this fancy meat and all different kinds of things. After 10 days, they tested everybody, and Daniel and his friends were bigger and stronger and healthier than all the other people. Now, I'm not a vegetarian, okay? So that's not why I'm telling this story. But why I am telling it is that Daniel and his friends stood up, okay? They stood up and they were counted in a time when actually it would have been quite dangerous for them to do that. They stood up and said, no, we don't want to go that way. We don't want to go the way you're going. We don't want to join in with you while you capture and imprison our people.
Good morning, boys and girls. It's lovely to be able to share with you in assembly this morning. I just want to let you know that I have been praying much for you and your families, that God would keep you safe and well, and that we'll be back together soon for Friday morning assemblies. I really miss them. Would you join with me now as we say the words of the Lord's Prayer that Jesus himself taught us to pray? Our Father. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Hello everybody, how are you all doing? It is so lovely to see you this morning. I hope you're all doing really well and staying safe. I want to introduce our song now in our assembly, and this morning we're going to be singing I'm in right, out right, upright, down right. So I want you to get up, move about and sing along to the music.
I'm in right, out, right, up, right, down, right, happy through and through. I'm in right, out, right, up, right, down, right, happy cause it's true. Jesus cared for me when he died on Calvary. I'm in right, out, right, up, right, down, right, happy through and through. La 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 la. I'm in right, out, right, up, right, down, right, happy through and through. I'm in right, out, right, up, right, down, right, happy cause it's true. Jesus cared for me when he died on Calvary. I'm in right, out, right, up, right, down, right, happy through and through. La 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 la. I'm in right, out, right, up, right, down, right, happy through and through. I'm in right, out, right, up, right, down, right, happy cause it's true. Jesus cared for me when he died on Calvary. I'm in right, out, right, up, right, down, right, happy through and through. La 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 la. my time right up, right down, right happy through and through. I'm in my time right up, right down, right happy, God is true. Jesus cared for me when he died on Calvary. I'm in my time right up, right down, right happy through and through. In my time right up, right down, right happy through and through.
So that brings us to the end of another assembly. To our P7s, I look forward to seeing you all again later on this evening at 7 o'clock for your graduation event. To everybody else, have a super weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all again this time next week. Take care.
Be kind to everyone, be kind to everyone, be kind to everyone, be kind to everyone.